So we are back. I'm doing two reviews today, which is fine. I'm wearing the same shirt. I wanted to wear the Iron Man. I didn't have a Hulk in my previous review. I don't have a Hulk t-shirt. I don't have a Hulk t-shirt, and my Iron Man t-shirt is in the laundry. And so I got nothing else to wear. But anyway, like I said, filming two reviews in one day. I gotta hurry up. I got I got a couple more. I got a couple more movies. I still got a long way to go. So, which is why I'm recording multiple reviews per day, and I'm wearing the same shirt. It's DC, but it's not Marvel. Will people start attacking me if I wear a DC shirt? Whatever. Whatever. But anyway, Iron Man 2, this is the part where this is a movie, not many critics don't really, they have mixed feelings. They have mixed feelings when it comes, from what I've gathered. Critics seems to have mixed feelings. It's not that they hate the movie. I feel, in my opinion, I don't think critics hate the movie. I think they just feel like their opinions are very mixed. But anyway, Iron Man 2 is the sequel to the first Iron Man movie, directed by this movie, Iron Man 2 and Iron Man, are both directed by Jon Favreau, who stars and directs the movie. And in this movie, and here we see, Tony Stark. He's living his life. Now that everyone knows that he's Iron Man, he's basically popular. He's popular. He's not popular, but he's famous. And he's basically living the life as a billionaire, billionaire, and he's basically just living the life. And all the characters, all the cast, they're back, but except for Terrence Howard, because he got replaced with Don Cheadle, who I think, I did like what Terrence Howard did with Rhodey, but I feel like Don Cheadle is the right casting. Nothing against Terrence Howard. I just feel like Don Cheadle is the correct. I don't want to say perfect. He's the correct casting for Rhodey. And we get a new character, new character of Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson. And Scarlett Johansson, she is pretty hot, kicking ass, she kicks ass, she's a badass, and she's hot and sexy while doing that, while doing all those things. And we get introduced to the villains. The villains is, the rival is there's two villains. The rival of Stark Industries, Tony Stark, which is here's what I think. Here's what I feel like. And I just realized this right now. Sam Rockwell, who plays Justin Hammer, he is the rival to Tony Stark, while Mick Worry, is it Mick Worry? Mickey Rourke? Not Mick Worry, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke. I'm not really great with names. Whatever. He plays Whiplash. And Whiplash is the villain, is the rival to Iron Man. So we got a rival for Iron Man, and we got another rival for Tony Stark. Mickey Rourke, that's his name, not Warky. What did I say? Mickey Rourke. His name is Mickey Rourke. And this is my issue. One of my issues with this movie, is the villains. Sam Rockwell, he's a really good actor. I've seen him, I've seen his performance in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which is a long title. But he was great in that movie. But as a character in this movie, not so much. Like, he's trying to be funny, but like, it just makes me shake my head. It just makes me shake my head and cringe at what he's trying to do. And he's not a good villain. Basically, yeah, that's basically it. He's essentially not a good villain. And so is Mickey Rourke with Mickey Rourke with his Russian accent. I don't have an issue with the accent. It's just his character. I don't like his character. Like, the movie opens up in Russia, and we get to see, and we get to hear the press interview from like the last scene of the first movie, where Tony Stark announces that he's Iron Man, and his battle, and the aftermath of his battle with Ironmonger, with Obadiah Stane. And we get to see Ivan with his father Anton, who I know is the Crimson Dynamo, is Crimson Dynamo in the comics. But we get, his father passes away, and the movie, basically what I'm trying to say is that the movie's trying to give some character development, like something. They're trying to give us something when it comes to Ivan, but at the end, for me, in my opinion, it just doesn't work. And another thing that doesn't work, that I have an issue with, is the whole drunk Tony Stark. I know it happens in the comics. I know Tony Stark is an alcoholic in the comics, in the Demons in the Bottle comic storyline. I know it happens in the comics, and I know the movie, they're trying to do their own version of that storyline. But it's just, throughout the first, I want to say the first half of the movie, it's just Tony Stark checking his blood toxicity, his blood level, and then he gets drunk. He starts, just being a drunk. That's basically it. And it's just that, I know it's not really a main issue for some people, but for me, it's just like, it's kind of disappointing, because like, we see, Tony Stark. It's just really sad, I guess, to see him at this low. But I don't know the right word for it, the right term to describe what I feel about it. But it's not positive. That's for sure. But that's basically it. I almost forgot. Yeah, I almost forgot. I know I did not mention Phil Coulson. I do mention that I did not mention. I do know that I did not mention. I did mention. I did not mention. I do know that I didn't mention Phil Coulson in the first movie. I'll be honest with you guys. When I did my review for the first Iron Man movie, I didn't rewatch the movie. I just reviewed it. I just reviewed the movie. And because I haven't watched Iron Man since. I haven't watched Iron Man like in the last couple weeks. Since last couple weeks, I watched Iron Man, the first movie, like a couple weeks ago, and then like I made my review like what, 3 days ago, like I don't know how long, but but because of that, there are a lot of details that I did not mention, but I'm going to mention here so that I don't forget them. Robert Downey Jr., he still continues to be the perfect Iron Man. He is Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. I cannot see, and I'm going to keep mentioning this again and again, I cannot see anyone else playing Tony Stark. He embodies the character. And I love him. I love his acting, and I love, his quirks, his whippy dialogue, him trying to be, funny and all that. It works. And we see, the return of Samuel L. Jackson. He appeared as Nick Fury in the post-credit scene of Iron Man, and now he appears in the donut shop trying to help out with Tony Stark with whatever issue that's going on. And, they find out that Natasha Romanoff, is actually an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and working for Nick Fury. And, just going back to the whole, I'm sorry guys, but, going back to the drunk alcoholic, just seeing him and just seeing Tony and Rhodey fighting in the fighting each other, in like, what is it, Stark Mansion? I don't know what it is, but like, in Tony's home, and just smashing, like grabbing dumbbells and throwing them at each other and smashing into each other. It's just not. Basically, this movie is not a breath of fresh air like the first movie. The first movie, it was amazing. Everything about it is amazing, but there's not. I don't know, I didn't feel enough. I didn't feel like enough, there wasn't enough magic from the first movie. This movie, in other words, this movie wasn't as magical as the first movie. And I don't know if I want to use magic. I don't know if I want to use magical because, Doctor Strange, which I will review, which will be later down the line. I won't get into detail. But yeah, I did pick up some detail. I did pick up some Easter eggs, like when Ivan got his brand new passport, it says the name Boris Tuganov or Tugoff, whatever. Which is the real name of Titanium Man, who I really wish, like, if they made Iron Man 4, I want Titanium Man to be the villain. But I know people are like, people don't want another armored villain. And speaking of armored villain, the finale, in this movie, the first movie we have at the finale was two human beings inside an armored suit. And in this one, it's again two people, three people with Rhodey, with War Machine, and they're all in armored suits. So it's like a repeat. So that's another problem I have with this movie. It's the finale, the whole, final battle with the main villain is a repeat from the first movie. Why does he have to be in the armored suit? He doesn't have to be in the armored suit. Ivan did not have to be in the armored suit. Like, he can fight, like, he can fight without it. But whatever. So, another Easter egg is that, Tom Holland confirmed that the little kid wearing the Iron Man mask, that is Peter Parker. Now that he's officially in the MCU, that little kid is Peter Parker. And another Easter egg is that when Tony Stark, and at the end of the movie, Tony Stark and Nick Fury, they're having a conversation, and at the background you see the map where there's like one of the location is in Africa, which is Wakanda, but I'm pretty sure it's a reference to Black Panther. And there's another one that's like out in the middle of the ocean, which I'm pretty sure is a reference to Namor. And I know there's been talks about a Namor movie. Not so sure how that'll work out, but those are all the Easter eggs that I picked up. So yeah, this movie, the villains, seeing Tony, the storyline, the story for this movie going from drunk, focusing on this drunk Tony Stark to like, it's just, it doesn't, it's like, it just switches. And then, not being a fresh, not being a breath of fresh air, and the finale, it's just, it's just, I'm like lost in words. I'm incapable of speaking. But yeah, Rhodey, he's in Rhodey. We see him in the war. He officially becomes War Machine in this armor, and his armor looked pretty badass, and all that. But I guess that's really it. I mean, like I said, the villains. I love. I think, Sam Rockwell is a really good actor. But in this movie, as as one of the villains, and and when it comes to Mickey Rourke, Mick Worry. I keep saying Mick. I want to say Mick Worry. No, it's Mickey Rourke. I can't even hear. Like I remember watching this movie with my dad back in 2010 in theaters, and I remember back then I did not understand his motives. Like, what is he after? Like, he wants to make God bleed. Like, he wants to, like, Whiplash, he wants to make God bleed, and I guessing that God, in his eyes, is Tony Stark. Like, I don't really understand his motives. It's not really clear, because I can't understand because of his freaking accent. Gotta put on subtitles. And don't even get me started with the whole bird thing. I want my bird. That was a stupid Russian accent. But anyway, that's my review for Iron Man 2. Not as magical or, as the first movie. But it's solid. It's a solid movie. I have nothing against it. I know my best friend, he loves this movie. I don't know if he loves it, but he really likes this movie. But for me, it's a solid movie. I have nothing against it. It's not bad. It's not the best. It's just in the middle. And that's what I feel about this movie. Oh, and yeah, I guess now I'm gonna start mentioning the post-credit scenes, because I didn't mention it in The Incredible Hulk, even though I don't think there was a post-credit scene. Ignore that. That was my computer. And I didn't mention it in the first Iron Man movie. But yeah, Phil Coulson, he's in New Mexico, and in New Mexico, he sees a bunch of people. He sees like this, like, I don't know what it is. Oh my God, it's freak. What is it called? Whatever. He sees a bunch of people around this like this dig site, and in it is a crater. He sees a crater. That's what it's called, a crater. He's in New Mexico. He sees a crater, a bunch of cars and people, vehicles around this huge crater, and in the crater, in the middle of it is Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, which is the next movie, is the next movie I will be reviewing in the MCU. So anyway, I'm into. I'll probably give this movie not a C, maybe like. I give this movie a B minus. Yeah, I give this movie a B minus. So that's my review for Iron Man 2. Let me know what you guys thought, and I think this is a good camera angle, because like my previous videos, you can see my face, but there's like so much, but there's like, you can see my face, but there's so much space, that rhymed, like above me. But I think this is a good camera angle. I don't know. But anyway, that's my review for Iron Man 2. Like I said, it's not the worst, not the best. It's a solid movie. It's in the middle for me, in my opinion. But that's what opinions are for. So yeah, I will see you in my next video for Thor. Bring on the lightning.